Are the SJWs themselves? As I was traveling through the internet, I was accused of being an SJW because I had anti-SJW content on my channel. So in this video, I'm going to explain why the accusers were simply wrong about the whole issue. Let's take a particular case and analyze it and see who is the SJW. I've noticed that in most cases, the people who are triggered first are the SJWs. They are the ones who react first. Triggered means to be reacting in a retarded way. I have already committed a trigger warning right there, because you're not even supposed to say retarded today. It's too politically incorrect to say even that. But you know what I mean? If you react first to something in a stupid way, then you are the one who is triggered. The word triggered actually was invented by the SJWs and the Feminist Brigade. They have a whole book with trigger warnings. Now the problem that comes with this is that their ideology is starting to penetrate all kinds of communities and is starting to take control of our society. It has taken control over a number of things, which is I am now talking about this subject. Because people tell me that if I talk about this subject, it instantly transforms me into a bigot, homophobe, racist, and whatever else. Now, of course, I am none of those things. I'm simply intervening because I see policies in different social networks being influenced by the ideologies of the SJWs. You can't make a movie without being super politically correct. You can't make a video game anymore. You can't have a video game presentation without being politically correct, because you've got gaming journalists like Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian on your back. In some places, these people actually have to apologize, and that just shows that the companies that they work for are weak. So let's analyze objectively one example of stupidity in SJWism. Let's talk about manspreading, a term which was invented by feminists in 2013 to describe the relaxed position of men that sometimes takes the space of two spots in a subway. I don't think this is a big problem or a specifically man issue. I think women can also spread, and I think also LGBTQPPIA people can also occupy the two spaces sometimes. So why do they feel the need to add a gender to this practice? The problem is not this. The problem is that they are actually being taken seriously, because in 2015 the word manspreading was actually has actually received a spot in the Oxford Dictionary. You can go there and find it and read what it means, which is completely astonishing, because it's like having the word invented by a delusional cult to be promoted and accepted by a respectable educational group. Tom Hanks was manspreading once in the subway, and the feminists attacked him. Now he, of course, replied to this, and he said that he did so because the subway actually had a lot of space. There was a ton of space there. The subway was scattered. He also called the accuser an idiot, which is perfectly okay in this situation. For me, they have made a completely ludicrous claim, so it deserves an appropriate reaction. If we stay and say nothing, they will just gain more and more terrain. They will become the status quo. So that is why I'm against SJWs. If they weren't a threat to freedom of speech, I would just do something else. If the main places where people hang out on the internet have their regulations made by the SJWs, how can we just sit still and let it happen? I say on the contrary. Let's talk about the fact that YouTube CEO is a feminist and that she takes things like microaggressions and man-interruptions seriously. I mean, feminists and SJWs are the people who want genders to stop being a thing. So why add a gender to these words? Manspreading, man-interruption, mansplaining. Mansplaining is when a man wants to dominate a conversation, right, within a group of people. I don't think it's a man-specific thing. The same about man-interruptions. Everyone can interrupt. Even a woman can interrupt someone, right? It's just interruption. It's not man-interruption. It's not woman-interruption. It's interruption. And sadly, which is what makes me react the most, is that the SJW philosophy is being now implemented in the law system. You've got a guy who made a joke on the internet by the name of Count Dankula being arrested and fined £800 in Scotland. So that's when it starts getting serious. That's when it starts getting Orwellian. 1984. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Newspeak from 1984. Can't say certain words. Soon you won't even have the ability to express negatively about something because the words for which you could express that won't exist anymore. So you see how now this leftist progressive ideology is being used to push forward something that is being planned for us by the shadowy elite. I don't know. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're in some kind of dystopian movie. Evil works through both sides. Evil works through SJWs right now. By no means I'm saying that the right is the solution, because it's just another trap. They're both traps. Stay away from traps. We have an extremely polarized world. That's how the machine city feeds itself. So that's all I'm gonna say. But for now, the overly progressive movement is an abomination, and I think it's very logical and rational to be against such stupidity. It is not SJW to be against an SJW. It is kind of like we are the antibodies reacting to the cancer which is being spread by the SJWs. I'm almost at a point where I can't play video games and I can't watch movies anymore because I see this SJW propaganda everywhere. I just can't stand it. It's like AIDS. The passion of gaming has been destroyed for me by these people. Why do we have to get political in entertainment? Or if you do, be sure to let the public know. Be sure to let the public know that it's a left progressive
feminazi
SJW influence game.
But please stop calling me a Nazi. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your Nazi feelings? Suck it up, princess. For a little I spoke with Caroline, she seemed like a hell of a woman.
She had balls of steel.
Balls. Why is it that balls are always used as some fucking default definition of badassery?
I intervene when the rights of others are being violated or when they are trying to be manipulated by anyone. Left, right, black, white, fire and ice. Whenever one of the sides will violate natural law, I will talk about it. I want you to have the ability to insult me, and I want me to have the ability to insult you. Because in that way, we will know what the truth is and what our intentions are. It's not good if we don't know our intentions. Because what this over-censorship does is it makes us keep secret what we have. And that's just not healthy for a functioning community. We will all start living in paranoia like in the communist days of my country, which is Romania. I was happy to grow up in a free society from the 90s to maybe 2011. I really liked it. The internet was just an open space where everyone could be who they wanted. You could choose what group to go in. If a group offended you, you just simply didn't go there and went somewhere else where you liked it. No one tried to stop other groups from expressing themselves. So that's what I want. It's pretty simple, and I think it's what we should all want. If you are an overly progressive person and expect me to respect all your 70 pronouns, I would ask you to stop requesting that from me. I don't have time to remember all your nonsense. If you are an uptight Christian, like super Bible Belt Christian, don't expect me to follow your dogma. The whole point of Christianity is for people to come to it with free will. God doesn't want to force things upon people. He wants people to willingly choose his path. So it works with the free society. We don't need regulations. We don't need the Sharia law. We just need an open world landscape where everyone can express what they want and where no one is allowed to install rules for the other people. Like I said before, all this SJW nonsense, it was pretty good. So let's go back to that. Let's go back the 70s and 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I think that what we have now, because of too much freedom, people get bored, and I don't know, too much quality of life in the West makes for people to get depressed somehow for various stupid reasons, and that's how they get involved into nonsense that even they don't know that they don't want to be a part of. They find it out maybe later in life. Alright, I'm done. This is Vosto Vlad. Thanks for watching.